Narcissistic parents silence their children for many reasons, and in this video I'm going to talk about 5 ways that they silence you, whether it be through something they say or something they imply. And I'm also going to talk to you about what you should and shouldn't do about that. I'm Dr. Meg Haworth, and I'm a transpersonal psychologist, holistic nutritional chef, and best-selling author of Get Well Now, Healing Yourself with Food and the Power of the Mind. I'm also a speaker and the host of the Toxic Parent Recovery Summit. And you can head over to my website to learn more about that at meghaworth.com. So today we're talking about ways that narcissistic parents silence you. And they do silence you. I call it a prison of silence that they put you into. And it's hard for anyone who's never been through it to really understand why this happens and what it is. The stories are so unbelievable in many cases that when you do tell people, they're like, what? No way. And that's part of what they set out to do, to hurt you, to manipulate you, to control you. Whether they're your parent or your mate, these are tactics that are across the board something that narcissists do. So the first thing that they're always implying and sometimes even outright saying to you is, no one will believe you. And they've created such a fake atmosphere and such a false self that they are acting and projecting to the world that people won't believe you when you start telling them about the horrible things that they're doing behind closed doors. And then they'll wonder, why did you wait so long to tell me about what was going on, And then that lowers the credibility and the believability of it as well. It's such a complex thing to be raised by a narcissistic parent, and they program you so that you won't tell anybody what's going on behind closed doors. So no one will believe you. I think it's really kind of at the top of the list of what they say and what they imply when you are raised by a narcissistic parent. Another way that a narcissist silence you is by telling you that you're too sensitive, or you're too dramatic, or you're too much of this or too much of that. And one of the reasons they do this, a primary reason, is to dismiss you and silence you, so that you'll stop saying whatever it is that you're saying that they don't want to hear because they're not interested. And this is so hard. It's such a hard pill to swallow when this is your own parent. For you to accept that this is how they are, it takes time. It takes help to have somebody assist you through understanding, like, why is it that they do this and the impact that it's had on you, and really understanding that they have a false person, this persona that they're projecting to the world, and then they have this person you see behind closed doors, this raging jerk. That's who they are. That's not easy to take when it's your own parent. So you're too much of anything is a way to dismiss you, shut you down, keep you quiet, and make you stop talking because they don't want to hear it. Number 3 is you're the problem. You are always the problem, or maybe one of your siblings is the problem, or maybe it's your other parent that's the problem. But narcissistic parents are always turning the table and making you think that you're the problem and not them. They do this because they refuse to accept any accountability for anything that they do. And so it's got to be someone else's fault, right? And this comes down to, I tripped on the sidewalk and it's the sidewalk's fault. And this is how they think. It's quite literally a way of thinking. They can't just stop thinking the way that they think. And it's completely antithetical to the way that we think when we're empathic and caring and sensitive, and we think about others and we consider others. They don't consider other people. They are the center of the universe, and you as the kid are an extension of them. That means you're like an arm or a leg, and they should be able to control their arm or their leg, right? If they can't control you, then all hell breaks loose for you. That's not fun. The 4th way that narcissistic parents might shut you down and silence you is by telling you that you misunderstood what their meaning was. When you knew full well exactly what they meant with whatever it was that they said, but they're constantly lying, blame shifting, gaslighting, and that's a gaslighting tool that they'll use. So if they're implying or outright saying that, oh no, you didn't hear me right, that's not what I said at all. That's a tactic that they're using to try to get you to go silent. And what you'll do is you'll go into your head and you'll be like, wait a minute, did I say that? Or did I mean that? Or did I mean this other thing? Or wait, what did I say? And so you start questioning yourself, you start doubting yourself, you start doubting your reality, which is exactly what they want you to do. And the more you doubt your reality, the more you shut down, the more silent you become. And the worse things become for you. This is when you can get really drained and you can get really sick from all of that emotional draining that's going on by the ways that they are silencing you. I see this a lot in my practice, is that people will have a lot of issues with thyroid, they'll have throat infections, and just issues in the throat and in the heart. I see a lot as well that are connected with this particular issue. The fifth center of the human energy system is all about communication and self-expression. This is your personal self-expression, and when you're raised by a narcissistic parent, that's not going to be developed and nurtured in you. That's the last thing they want to develop and nurture in you, because they don't want you to have your independent sense of self. Because if you did, you would go against them, and everything is about them trying to control you into whatever their agenda is for that moment, that day, that week, whatever it is that they have on their minds. Because it's all about them. It's their world, it's their life, and you're just an extension of them in their world and in their life. Another hard pill to swallow when you have a narcissistic parent. So when you start getting this part of your body just draining, and your heart is being drained and drained, it's your center, your center of self is your heart. It's your center of love, unconditional love. And love is always conditional with a narcissistic parent. It's always about, if you do this, then I will give you praise. If you do this, then you won't get any. Oh, wait a minute, you did the thing that usually might have gotten you praise, but now you're not going to get that praise because I'm not going to give it to you because I'm in a bad mood, or I just want to keep you weak. That's really the way they think and the way that they will talk to their own children. It's disconcerting, and it's very painful to be on the receiving end of. And number 5, and I think this is a big one, and I've already kind of mentioned it once in this video, and I'll tell you in just a moment, but please, if you are getting something from what you're hearing here, please like the video, please subscribe to my channel, please make comments below, anything you might have added to the video, anything that you want me to make a video about, please put those in the comments below. Those are all really help with getting this video out to more people, because the more people that get to hear these messages, the more people get to be helped and to be healed with the holistic methods that I use in my practice. So, what is number 5 of the ways that narcissistic parents silence you? And this is a big one. If you tell anyone, I will make your life a living hell. And that's precisely what they will do. They will stop at nothing. Narcissistic people are vindictive, they are grudge holding, and they are not forgiving people. They don't know what forgiveness is. It's not even really on their radar. If they ever talk about forgiveness, it's going to be something you do for them, and it's going to be a false understanding of what forgiveness is that they're projecting onto you. And it'll probably be within a religious context as well. They'll tell you, oh, you should forgive me. Everybody does bad things. So a lot of them will use religious tenets to get back at you, to keep you controlled, to keep you shamed, to keep you down. So this is critical. You know, the fact that they're silencing you by intimidation, by purely being bullying and shaming and blaming and cruel. So you learn that you can't tell anybody, and you learn that even when you do, they don't believe, what you say because, oh my gosh, your parent is so nice. They do so many great things for you. They do so many great things for me and for the church and all of that stuff. So they assume that all those great things that they're doing for them, that they're doing for you, and they're not. You're the one who is neglected on every level, mentally, emotionally, physically, and energetically and spiritually. You are neglected, especially emotionally. You're not getting the support that you need, but you're being emotionally abused day in and day out for years and years on end. So this really takes a toll on you, and silence is one of those things that you have to do in order to get through the experience, because you cannot say what's going on with you. So what do you do with all of this? I mean, how do you turn this around? So a lot of people think, well, if you just, now I get to confront the narcissist. I finally figured out this person's a narcissist, and I'm going to confront them. I'm going to tell them what I found out. Look, here it's on all these thousands of videos that I've been watching over and over again. Don't do that. Don't ever, ever, ever do that. That is akin to telling somebody and your life being made miserable, a living hell, because you told somebody. So if you do tell the narcissistic person that you're onto them, that you know what's going on and you've discovered, they will go into narcissistic injury and collapse. And when that happens, your life becomes far worse than it was when you were just keeping your mouth shut. And you can start to learn that keeping your mouth shut is a position of power versus a position of weakness. And this happens as you go through your own healing process and you can become stronger and stronger in yourself. So you're wielding silence very, very specifically for your help and your healing, to preserve you and to make sure that you're number one in that conversation, or number one, period. And that is really hard for somebody who was raised by a narcissist to grasp. It's very hard to learn to focus on yourself, and you'd think it'd be the easiest thing on earth, but it really is not easy at all. But it is something that is part of the process, is learning to focus on yourself, to find out who you are, what's your identity, what do you like, what do you care about, what's important to you, what are your skills, talents, and abilities, and how can you live those out in the world. So that's part of the process of healing when you go through healing from narcissistic abuse. And I got to tell you, it's absolutely necessary. That is the antidote. That is the way to get through this. And you're going to have voices that tell you like, oh no, everything's fine. It's not that bad. You will gaslight yourself into oblivion and not get help. Even though every single day you're putting yourself down, you're saying horrible things to yourself, you're being mean and cruel to yourself because you were programmed to be that way. Again, that keeps you in a weakened state. That means you're continually giving your energy over to the narcissistic person, the narcissistic parent in your life, and that energy is exactly what they want from you. And that's exactly what you don't want to keep giving to them, right? That's your precious energy. It's for you to help animate you in your life. So one of the solutions that I have a couple things I want to tell you about. And one is I have an online course. It's called Healing the 5 Primary Wounds of Parental Narcissistic Abuse. And it's an on-demand, do it on your own kind of online course that can be extremely helpful for you. First of all, learn about holistic healing and how this is a holistic situation. These are holistic injuries that you have sustained, and so holistic solutions are really what you're going to need to help you heal every level: mental, emotional, physical, and energetic and spiritual. All those parts need to go through healing process. But the good news is that in my whole person integration technique that I do with my one-on-one coaching clients and my Iconic Me coaching program are really powerful, and they help you move through your issues so much more quickly, like lightning speed. It's funny because I was struck by lightning. It's funny I used that one just now. But they help you heal very rapidly, so much more so than traditional talk therapy. So that's really important to note. I hear so many people come to me, and this happened to me as well. They'll say, I've worked on myself in therapy for 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. And I got more out of one session than I did out of those 20 years of therapy. Now, all those 20 years of therapy were important and needed and powerful, and I do not dismiss your therapy. It's really important that you did all of those things to help yourself heal. But this takes you deeper because you're going into the body and how the body is holding the memory of the experiences that you've been through, and how the subconscious mind has been holding those experiences as well. Those thoughts, those feelings, and those beliefs that you encapsulated inside of your own being that you were programmed to believe. That your narcissistic parent programmed you to believe, think, feel, and do. So that's what I help people turn around in my Iconic Me program. And I've heard people, oh my gosh, the results have really been amazing. I've watched people literally heal things, conditions overnight, sciatica gone, cold sores all around the mouth, and a split tongue, and the cold sores gone overnight. I had one client who was scheduled for her 4th surgery for a condition that she just kept fighting, and she came to me, and that part of the body healed up once we got to the resentment that she was holding in it, and she let it go, and we let it go through my process, whole person integration technique. So I know that being narcissistically abused by a parent is very complex and very difficult. I've been there, which is why if you're sitting there nodding your head the entire time, you're like, oh my God, she really gets me. I really do. And that's another thing that really helps my clients, is to know that I've been there and I can really reflect back to them what they're feeling. And I don't dismiss you when you come to me and you tell me the outlandish stories of the awful things that they have done. I don't dismiss you and tell you, or minimize them or make them small, because they're not small. The damage that they do are not small. So if this resonates with you and you would like to learn more about my work and perhaps book a free consultation, if you are interested in working with me to talk to me more about how I can help you heal, you can book a free call with me. The links are in the description and the comments below. And you can go on my website at meghaworth.com, meghaworth.com, to get 52 ways to tell if your parent is a narcissist checklist. You can also get the Adverse Childhood Experiences Study Quiz to learn more about how those abuse situations you went through as a child are affecting your physical body today. And I help you turn that all around with holistic healing and nutrition and help for healing. So I'm Dr. Meg Haworth, and I hope this information has helped you get well.